Jeff, let's continue this conversation. What more are you hearing on this decision, what they may do with Cousins?
Well, first of all, a couple things. Kevin O'Connell he's coming from Sean McVay's staff. He's been around a lot of these guys, whether it's Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDaniel. All these guys love Kirk Cousins. All those guys think so highly of him. Shanahan at one point would have given his left arm to get Cousins onto his team. That said, O'Connell is his own guy. And what I would point out here is that I think that he is also the type of coach, though. He was extremely supportive of Jared Goff, even after McVay and Goff had their falling out. O'Connell was still right behind Goff. He is the type of coach who will get behind whatever quarterback there is. We saw it with Mike McDaniel when he came to Miami, when it came to Tua. We're seeing it now with O'Connell. I think that this is a little bit of a new trend with coaches going in for those interviews saying, hire me to make your quarterback work. Don't hire me so that I can come in and clean house. That, I think, is the O'Connell way.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for him.
You don't like this romantic approach that I'm trying to take here?
Listen, I mean, Kevin O'Connell needs to find a franchise quarterback. And Kirk Cousins, you think about Goff. Yeah, he worked with Goff. Well, guess what? He hit a ceiling, and he didn't get any better than where he was at. And they traded him away. Why? Because they wanted to go get a franchise quarterback that could help them get to a Super Bowl and win it, not just get there. So I think if you're the Vikings, you're kind of in a bad spot. You have a $45 million cap hit, 35. That's a lot of money. Nobody is going to trade for Kirk Cousins with that number. Salary guaranteed. Not going to happen. So they're going to have to work through this season with him as your quarterback. And it might be a little hard to watch, because when I watch Kirk Cousins, he's average, just like all his numbers are average across the board. He's not making average money, but with the Vikings, he has been the 15th quarterback across the season for the last couple of years. So if Kevin O'Connell wants to put the Vikings on the top of the division and win, he needs an elite quarterback.
Well, look, here's what I would say about the quarterback position for the Minnesota Vikings. Right now, there's nothing they can do, right, Nink, like you and Jeff said. Economically, they're strapped. They're right there. They got to sit and play this thing out to the end of the year. He's got 1 year left. This is the long game for Kevin O'Connell. This is not get it fixed right now in the day. He's serviceable. He's an okay, serviceable quarterback. The numbers are what the numbers are. You can win right now with Kirk Cousins. I didn't say you can win a Super Bowl. You can certainly win, though. And with that, you get a chance to take a look at other players around there and see what they are before you go make a splash on a quarterback. Quarterbacks aren't just – you can't just go down the street and find a franchise quarterback at 7-Eleven. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, you know, Key, I want to follow up a little bit, because some of this, and we're going to get into the Aaron Rodgers conversation as it relates to the Packers. You think about the NFC North, some of this deals with the division, too. As long as Aaron Rodgers is in that division, and it was funny because last offseason when we thought maybe Rodgers would be moving on from the Packers, a lot of the conversation was around the Vikings, right? And saying, you know, maybe they're the team to beat in the NFC North. Key, when you think about that and just how Rodgers has to factor into this conversation, what comes to mind?
Well, if Rodgers is no longer there, then it becomes a two-team race, in my opinion, Minnesota and Chicago. But I don't know what would replace Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. All of a sudden, Green Bay gets their hands on somebody that's serviceable, like a Carr, for instance, or somebody along those lines. Now, Green Bay's right back in the mix, because in the end, we love Rodgers. I do as a quarterback, but Aaron Rodgers hasn't gotten them back to the Super Bowl. So if there's another quarterback in that place, maybe the thinking is different for Matt LaFleur and the offense, and they finally get over the hump. But Kirk Cousins is there to stay in Minnesota. There's nothing you can do. They might as well just run it back. They decided to give him the money, and this is what you get, Jeff, when you give somebody like that type of money.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.